everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. This is Karen.
Hola amigos, I am Shane.
Today we're looking at day 2 of Wild Mexico. And the vocabulary words are breed.
Breed.
The pandas in the zoo have successfully bred.
Bury.
Bury.
My dog likes to bury bones in the backyard.
Escape.
Escape.
We went inside the house to escape the rain.
Nursery.
Nursery.
Jane leaves her son at a nursery while she's at work.
Complex.
Complex.
The math problem was too complex for any of us to solve. So Shane, we're still talking about this amazing show on Animal Planet, Wild Mexico. Okay, so last time we learned some interesting things about Wild Mexico, right? You can see cool animals,
Yeah,
right?
well, you go in the rainforest and the jungle, there's lots of animals. But actually, from what I've seen of Mexico, most of it is desert.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really hot there too.
Okay, and then you can still see a lot of different creatures, interesting creatures. I remember I read something about the spade-foot toads. They're always underground because they're so scared of the heat.
Yeah, because during the day it can
too
be really like
hot.
45 or 50
right.
degrees, really, really hot.
And they only come out when it rains. What other creatures have you heard
I
of?
talked about the mole lizard,
Mollets.
which is a lizard that also lives in the ground and comes out at night. And what other kind of animals? Oh, well, the desert, the Baja Desert is where we were looking at.
Yeah.
And that's near the coast, right? Near the
Okay,
ocean.
that's right. And that is an area where you can see 9 species of whales, right?
Have you ever seen a whale? Like, have gone out on a boat and seen a whale?
Actually, no, but I've seen them in like ocean parks.
I have. I've seen it in the wild.
Really?
In Mexico.
Did you take a boat out in the ocean and then you saw the whale?
It's called whale watching. And
Oh, that is so cool.
really cool. And it jumped up out of the water.
It did?
Yeah.
Was it just one or was there a lot of whales?
We saw 2, but they were separated, yeah.
Really?
So cool.
I love whales. They're so big.
And I know that like the gray whales will come there to
In the winter from the Arctic, right?
because it's cold up there, so they want to come down to where it's warm.
Well, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
If you love animals, you will love this show.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. So
Let's read
watch
and
it.
find out.
Yeah. Okay.
Wild Mexico, guys.
Enjoy.
Wild Mexico.
Mexico's rainforests are important in terms of biodiversity. However, its deserts are also breeding grounds for various forms of life. The Baja Desert is the home of Mexican spadefoot toads. These animals spend most of their lives buried underground to escape the heat, coming out only when it rains.
Welcome to Live Interactive English Magazine. Today is day 2, reading an article called Wild Mexico. Hello everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mike.
It's Wild Mexico. Now, we're all having fun here, but Wild Mexico is actually the name of a new show on Animal Planet. And as you might have guessed, the show is going to take us through the wilds of Mexico.
It's a good thing they chose that name for the show then.
Wild Mexico.
That's
But
right.
it is mysterious. Wild.
Absolutely. And we've learned that there are a lot of very interesting animals in the jungles of Mexico. We were looking at a jungle in the south, the Lacandon Forest or Lacandon Jungle. They have jaguars, they have howler monkeys, they have spider monkeys, all sorts of animals down there. And of course also Mayan ruins,
Yes.
because the southern part of Mexico was where the Mayan culture was very powerful and important, maybe around 1,000 years ago or something like that.
Now let's learn more about Mexican rainforests. You see, Mexico's rainforests are important in terms of biodiversity. We're talking about different forms of life, an array of different life forms. Now, however, its deserts are also breeding grounds for various forms of life. So here we've got the word breed. To breed is to make baby animals or baby things. When humans breed, they make a baby. When animals breed, they make baby animals. It's the process of reproducing. So here it says the deserts are breeding grounds. These are places where animals go to breed, to procreate, or to reproduce. For example, the pandas in the zoo have successfully bred. Now here, B-R-E-D is bred. It's the past tense form of breed. You have breed, B-R-E-E-D, or bred as the past tense form, B-R-E-D.
Okay, yeah, it's actually quite difficult for pandas to breed, right? It takes
Especially in captivity.
a long time for them to do that, absolutely. So breeding grounds, when we hear about that, when talking about, nature and outside in the outdoor world, it's basically for animals that might travel around a lot during their lives, but when it's time for them to make another generation to have babies, they go back to this one area because it's safe, because it's protected, because there's something kind of special about it that makes it even better for raising the next generation, raising their young.
And one of these animals that you're talking about here is the spadefoot toad. Get this.
Spadefoot toad, okay.
The Baja Desert is the home of Mexican spadefoot toads.
Okay, the Baja. Now you didn't say Baja.
It's Spanish. There's no ja. It's
That's a good point. Yeah, so a J has kind of an H sound. So the Baja Desert, that's where we find Mexican spadefoot toads. Now let's find out about them. These animals spend most of their lives buried underground to escape the heat. They're not stupid. Coming out only when it rains. Very smart little toad. A toad, of course, is like a frog. Toads spend most of their lives on dry land, whereas frogs spend more of their lives in the water. Frogs can generally swim better. And since they're on the dry land, these toads, they spend their time buried underground. Okay, so if you're buried, well, you make a hole, you put something in the hole, maybe a treasure if you're a pirate, or yourself if you're a frog, and then you cover it with dirt so it can't be seen, or so the sun can't heat it up, which is what these guys are doing. So
sounds like if you're in a desert, burying yourself in a hole is a great way to get out of the sunshine, to beat the heat, and to hide as well.
Absolutely. We have an example sentence for bury. My dog likes to bury bones in the backyard, right? We've all seen that in cartoons and stuff where the dog makes a hole with its hands, puts in the bone, covers it up so no one can eat its little snack. True. Now these guys aren't saving food, they're saving themselves. They're trying to escape the heat. Because of course, as many people can sort of realize or guess, underground covered up is better than on the ground being sort of hit by the hot sun all the time.
So here, yes, these toads are trying to escape or get away from the heat. Otherwise, if you break out of jail, you escape from jail. Or if you break free from any situation, you escape. But here, these toads are trying to get away from or escape the heat by burying themselves.
Okay.
For example, we went inside the house to escape the rain. We're trying to get away from the rain so that we don't get wet. So we escaped the rain in that way. Anyways, after a break, we're going to learn more about the Baja Desert, or at least I hope we do.
I do too.
Because apparently this is an important breeding ground in Mexico. And hopefully we also learn more about the spadefoot toad. It's a very interesting little animal. Okay, with that, folks, let's take a break, but don't go away. We'll be right back and we'll have a lot of fun. I promise.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在 Day One 看到了玛雅雨林的动物，包含了美洲豹、吼猴、蜘蛛猴等等的。虽然墨西哥的雨林很重要，不过就生物的多样性而言，它的沙漠地带也是各种生命形态的繁殖地哦。Biodiversity 就是指生物多样性。那么 breed 这个动词它有繁殖、培育的意思。我们来看它的动词三态是 breed、bred、bred。那刚刚 Jeff 老师所说的 procreate以及 reproduce 这两个字也都有繁殖生殖的意思。好，接着文章提到说，下加利福尼亚沙漠 the Baja Desert 是一种蟾蜍的栖息地，那种蟾蜍叫做墨西哥雏足蟾。好，那这些动物它的一生大部分都是埋藏在地底下以逃避热气，它们只有在下雨的时候才会跑出来。那由于墨西哥他们主要是在讲西班牙语，他们的 J 是发的音，所以那个沙漠应该念作 the Baja Desert， 而不是 the Baja Desert。好，那这边还有两个动词可以学起来 ，bury 就是掩埋、埋藏，那么 escape 是指逃避、逃离。好，接着回到课文中。
Wild Mexico.
When the sun goes down, mole lizards come out. Found only in the deserts of northern Mexico, these little creatures have clawed feet that let them get around quickly. The Baja Desert is located near the coastline, which is a safe area for 9 species of whale. The coastline also serves as an important nursery for gray whales, which swim here from the Arctic each winter and spring to mate and give birth.
All right, before the break, I really wanted to learn more about the Baja Desert.
Oh,
and I think we're going to learn more about the Baja Desert.
That's right.
But I don't know if we're going to focus on the spadefoot toad anymore.
No, unfortunately. Remember, they're just buried underground, escaping the heat. That's kind of the most interesting thing that they do. So we'll just leave them there. They're relaxed. They're cooling off. Now, when the sun goes down, though, when the spadefoot toads are just thinking about coming out of their holes, there's another more interesting animal that comes out. It says when the sun goes down and it cools off a little bit, mole lizards come out. That's right, mole lizards. Found only in the deserts of northern Mexico, these little creatures have clawed feet that let them get around very quickly. So they're quite fast little animals. A lizard, as you know, is, well, related to a snake, but they have arms and legs, right? So, but they're also warmed by the sun, and they have babies and eggs and that kind of thing. These special mole lizards are found only in northern Mexico, in the driest, hottest parts, the deserts, and they have clawed feet. That means they have long nails on their fingers that let them get around very quickly. So I guess they can escape snakes and birds and other animals that might like to eat a little lizard.
I guess that's kind of cool. I still prefer the spadefoot toad, but I guess that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But I think we can both agree, cooler than both of those creatures are whales.
Whales are
amazing.
Cool. Yeah,
whales are amazing.
That's true.
Now, the Baja Desert is located near the coastline, which is a safe area for not one species of whale, but for 9 species of whale.
Well, I'm glad we're near the coastline, because if we were finding a whale in the desert, I would be very surprised by that. But of course, the coastline is where the land meets the water. So out there, that would be what, the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean? Because Mexico has both of those oceans on either side, right? So we're talking about Baja, we're on the
probably a
Pacific coast side. That's right. Okay, so it's nice warm water, and there's lots of whales, 9 different types of whales. Yeah. I know a lot of whales actually do spend their winters down in Mexico, right? When the water up in America, Canada, and the north gets a little cold, they swim down to Mexico. It says the coastline, this Baja coastline of western Mexico, also serves as an important nursery for gray whales. Gray whales, which swim here from the Arctic each winter. Wow, a long way. Yeah. And spring to mate and give birth. Okay, so a nursery, well, when we learned about breeding grounds, it's similar. A nursery might be where the young are taken care of. Once the young are born, come out of their eggs or come out of their mothers, depending on the animal, they have to have, again, a safe place to protect the babies as they get stronger, and also a place with a lot of good food around, right? A lot of fish for the whales to feed on, because the babies will grow really, really fast.
Or baleen. They have to have
krill
right. for their
plankton
baleen.
And stuff like that. That's right. They have to take in a lot of food in order to grow quickly. So a nursery would be a place where young can be taken care of. For example,
Jane leaves her son at a nursery while she's at work.
Oh, so it's a safe, protected place where the kids can be taken
Gray
care
whales, they go to work and they leave their kids off the Baja coast.
Okay.
All right.
The kids learn
here's a couple toys.
Kids learn the ABCs and play
Mexican
some
hat
games.
dance.
That's right. And then mom comes back and everyone goes home. Or in this case, the family spends some of the winter months, I should say, in the Pacific Ocean. And then, as it says, when the spring comes, they will move back to the colder parts further north.
Sounds good to me. Anyways, that, folks, it's time for yet another break, but don't go away. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our article. Remember, the name of the article is Wild Mexico.
在下加利福尼亚沙漠，除了有下雨才会出现的蟾蜍，那在太阳下山的时候，也会看到一种蜥蜴 mole lizard。这种蜥蜴叫做五指双足隐蜥。好 ，lizard 就是蜥蜴。那这些小生物呢，它的脚上面有长爪子，可以让它快速的移动。那我们接着就来到靠近海岸线的地方，这是9种鲸鱼的安全地带。在每年冬天和春天，灰鲸就会从北极游到这里来交配生产。那这里的海岸线就是灰鲸重要的育幼场所。好，我们来看北极的英文是 the Arctic。那么 nursery 这个字可以用来指托儿所、幼稚园，可是鲸鱼并不是来这边学 ABC 或者学数字1、2、3的。nursery 在课文里面是指动物繁殖地。那我们先前有学过 breed 是繁殖，所以也可以用 breeding ground 来指繁殖地。好，我们接着回到课文中。
Wild Mexico.
Close to Baja is the Sea of Cortez, where devil rays, with larger and more complex brains than any other fish, take part in a stunning and as yet unexplained ritual. Gathering to hunt, they launch themselves out of the water, 6 feet into the air. It's just one more unsolved mystery that makes Mexico such an interesting place to visit.
You know something? I'm tired of Baja.
Oh, really?
The whales live there. That's
Yeah.
great. In the desert, they got those special toads and
Yeah.
special lizards.
Mole lizards,
I'm through with that.
Really? You're
Yeah,
bored?
I'm
Time
through.
to move on?
I'm through with Baja. Let's
All right.
move on.
Okay.
There is more to wild Mexico than the Baja Desert and the Baja Desert coastline.
Take us there, Jeff. Take us away.
Well, close to Baja is the Sea of Cortez.
Ooh, that's my favorite sea of Cortez.
Okay. Now, in the Sea of Cortez, devil rays.
Ooh.
Devil rays lived there. Yes, in the Sea of Cortez, they had devil rays. Now, devil rays have larger and more complex brains than any other fish. And while in the Sea of Cortez, these devil rays take place in a stunning and as yet unexplained ritual.
Wow.
Now, how about this? We've got the word complex. If something is complex, it's very complicated and contains many moving parts or many details that might be difficult to explain. So yes, complex, complicated, about the same. For example, the math problem was too complex for any of us to solve. There is too many moving parts, the concepts were too difficult, we just couldn't solve it. It was too complicated or too complex.
Interesting. Yeah, because fish really aren't known to be the smart animals,
They're not.
right?
They're
When
dumb.
Well,
Fish
when
are
we talk
dumb.
about dolphins and whales, of course, we know they're smart, but of course they're not,
They're not
fish.
fish. They're mammals,
They're
yeah.
mammals. So when we're talking about fish, well, sharks are some of the bigger fish, but again, they're not known to be very smart. Now, in that sentence, it also said to take part in a ritual. To take part in something is to join in. And basically, if it's complex and unexplained, their behavior is very interesting, very complicated, but scientists don't really know why they
Sure.
do it. But because they have big brains, we guess, they must have a good reason. Now, what is this ritual? What do they do, these devil rays, that's so amazing?
It's as of yet unexplained, this ritual. But we do have some things that have been explained. Get
Okay.
this, they gather to hunt. Now, gathering to hunt, they launch themselves out of the water 6 feet into the air.
Really? They're hunting birds? No.
No, apparently, yeah, they are gathering to hunt. We know that they figured that out, but still there's mystery. They launch themselves out of the water.
Kind of like whales
6
or
feet
dolphins do. They
when
jump
when
out
they
of the water.
breach. Yeah, but here,
Yeah. Huh.
why would you jump 6 feet into the air out of
Right.
the water to hunt for fish? There's no fish out of the water. You should
Absolutely.
stay inside
That's
the water. It's
very
weird.
unexplained and very interesting. And it's just one more unsolved mystery that makes Mexico such an interesting place to visit, and I might add, that makes Wild Mexico such an interesting show on the Animal Planet to watch. To try to get some of these mysteries solved and at least to just see some of these fascinating animals that can only be found in some of these remote locations of the beautiful country of Mexico.
You mean wild Mexico?
Wild Mexico, that's what we're talking about.
Anyways, folks, with that, our show is complete. But yes, tune in and watch Wild Mexico. It's on Animal Planet, and it's a fantastic show. Anyways, yes, we have to end our show now, but we sure hope that you enjoyed reading along with us today and, well, yesterday as well.
Yes,
Anyways,
should we say goodbye in Spanish?
hasta luego, hasta la vista.
Buenos dias, can we say that too?
That's good day, that's hello.
Good day. Oh, that's hello, okay.
Anyways, 休息一下，马上回来。
Hasta la vista.
看完沙漠，我们接着来到科尔特兹海。那这边有一种生物叫做魔鬼鱼 （Devil Ray），它们的脑部啊比任何其他鱼类更大、更复杂。那这些鱼会到科尔特兹海参与一项惊人的仪式。他们会聚在一起猎食，然后会把自己弹出水面高达6英尺高的空中。虽然人们还是没有办法解释为什么他们有这种举动，这仍是个谜团。不过这反而让墨西哥成为又有趣又值得拜访的地方。好，我们最后来看单字 complex， 它在课文里面是当形容词，就表示复杂的。那么 ritual 是仪式或者是典礼。好，我们在 Day 1 有学到 mysterious 是形容神秘不可思议的，那这里的 mystery 是它的名词，就表示谜团或者是神秘的事件。好啦，那以上是今天的讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。
Hello， 我是 Yvette， 又到了 Grammar Express。除了雨林， 墨西哥的沙漠地带也是各种生命形态的繁殖地。下加利福尼亚沙漠靠近海岸线。The coastline also serves as an important nursery for great whales, which swim here from the Arctic each winter and spring to mate and give birth. 这里的海岸线也可以作为灰鲸重要的育幼场所。它们每年冬天和春天的时候，从北极游到这里来交配生产。片语 serve as 的主词，如果是事物的时候，表示当做或者是充当，也就是文章里的用法。主词是人的时候，则是表示担任什么的职务。The sofa had to serve as a bed. 沙发得充当床使用。Dr. Johnson has served as the president of this company. Dr. Johnson 曾经担任过这家公司的总裁。另一个要介绍的片语是 give birth， 生下幼儿。这个动词片语在文章里表示生产或者是分娩，后面可以接 to 加名词，表示生下。Gina gave birth to twins last year. Gina 去年生了一对双胞胎。Give birth to 加上名词或动名词，还可以表示促成或者是使什么诞生。Leo's passion for education gave birth to the foundation. Leo 对教育的热忱促成了那个基金会的诞生。读到文章最后一段 ，Close to Baja is the Sea of Cortez, where devil rays with larger and more complex brains than any other fish take part in a stunning and as yet unexplained ritual. 科尔特兹海靠近下加利福尼亚半岛，脑部比任何其他鱼类更大而且更复杂的魔鬼鱼会到这里参与一场惊人而且到目前仍然原因不明的仪式。比较级加上 than any other 加上名词，比其他什么更怎么样，是用比较级来表示最什么的。其中比较的事物如果是同一类，像是文章里的 devil rays 和 fish 都是鱼类，所以 other 不可以省略。Susan is more intelligent than any other girl in her class. Susan 比她班上任何其他的女孩都聪明，因为 Susan 也是班上的女孩，所以 other 不可以省略。但是如果比较的人事物是不同的范围，那就不需要加 other。New York is larger than any city in Taiwan. 纽约比台湾的任何一个城市都大。今天介绍的用法要多练习使用哦。我们下次见，拜拜。
3, 2, 1, action!
星际战警 MIB 第3集，有一只可爱、胖胖又有预知未来能力的好外星人。在电影中，他讲了许多充满智慧的名言。
That's a miracle.
A miracle is something that seems impossible but happens anyway.
Should we tell the truth?
The bitterest truth is better than the sweetest lie.
A miracle is something that seems impossible but happens anyway. 什么是奇迹？这一句非常的有道理。奇迹就是乍似不可能。A miracle is something that seems impossible. 就是它这边的动词是 seem 乍似不是真的哦。It's not impossible. It just seems impossible, but happens anyway. 但是还是发生了。The bitterest truth is better than the sweetest lie. 这一句也是非常有哲理。最苦的事实胜过最甜美的谎言。The bitterest truth bitter 是苦的后面是 ESC 是最高级。The bitterest truth is better than the sweetest sweet 也是最高级。Sweetest lie 最苦的事实胜过最甜美的谎言。
Are we gonna make it?
I lost my world. I don't want you to lose yours. It's only the most infinitesimal of chances. But if it works, it'll be my most favorite moment in human history.
这个外星人非常好心，因为他说 I lost my world, I don't want you to lose yours 啊，我的星球已经被毁了，我不希望你们也失去自己的家园。It's only the most infinitesimal of chances, but if it works, it'll be my most favorite moment in human history. 我们成功的这个可能性是微乎其微，但是如果我们真的成功了，那将会是我人类历史上最喜欢的那一个章节。他用到了好长的一个字 infinitesimal, infinitesimal, infinitesimal 就是极微小的、微乎其微、无限小的形容词。OK.
If he does this, is there any future where he lives?
Yes. But where there is death, there will always be death.
There is death. There will always be death.
威尔史密斯非常想要拯救汤米·利·琼斯，他就问这个外星人说 ：“If he does this, is there any future where he lives？” 你有没有看到某一个未来是这个汤米·利·琼斯可以活下来的？外星人看看未来就说 ：“Yes, but where there is death, there will always be death。”他说就会有一命换一命哦，代表说如果他不死，就会有别人要死。这个是讲的跟